psychiatric evaluation. State prosecutor Gerrie Nel told the court that the evaluation had found Pistorius did not suffer mental defects that could influence his behavior. Later in the proceedings, his disability came under the spotlight. Once again, his doctor took the stand and gave graphic detail of the athlete's hardships as an amputee. Dr. Gerald Fasveld, who amputated Pistorius' legs when he was 11 months old, said Pistorius had less mobility on his stumps and was more vulnerable to falling in the dark. All right, now we're going to chat to Chriselda in just a moment to find out what's the very latest. She has been keeping a close eye on the proceedings, not only yesterday, but prior to that, just before Oscar Pistorius went for that mental evaluation. Chriselda Lewis at the North Gauteng High Court. A very good morning to you, Chriselda. What of significance came to the fore yesterday during the court proceedings?
Well, a very good morning to you, Ayanda. Well, certainly this morning, first of all, we were expecting the cross-examination of Ivan Lynn, the acoustics engineer, to begin by State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel. Basically, yesterday he gave testimony on how to differentiate between the screams of a man and a woman. This is of significance because you would recall that previous state witnesses had testified about hearing the screams of a woman coming from the home of Oscar Pistorius on the morning that he shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp. But certainly the defense is saying, or has been saying all along, that Oscar Pistorius was the one who was screaming, and when in distress, he sounds like a woman. So basically, what we heard from Ivan Lynn yesterday was that you can differentiate between the different screams of a man and a woman, but not without exception, of course. And very significantly, what came out of court yesterday, and certainly what we were waiting for the past month, is that this report, the psychiatric report, which has now revealed that Oscar Pistorius knew very well what he was doing when he fired those 4 shots at Reeva Steenkamp. That report basically saying that at the time of the shooting, Oscar Pistorius knew what he was doing and that he had no mental illness at the time of that shooting. And also very graphic details we saw from someone who has a long-standing relationship with Oscar Pistorius. Of course, that is his Dr. Gerald Fasveld, who amputated Oscar Pistorius' legs at the age of 11 months, basically giving details about Oscar Pistorius, giving us details to say how difficult it is for the athlete to operate on his stumps and how he has difficulty without light. If he's in a dark room, he has a very difficult time maneuvering in a room. But certainly we saw Gerrie Nel yesterday tear into that testimony, saying that if Oscar Pistorius had such a difficult time walking around in the dark, why did he not fall over on the morning that he shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp, where he says he was too afraid to switch on the light, but he had gone to get a cricket bat, he had a firearm in his hands, and had also brought in some fans at some point. And Oscar Pistorius didn't seem to have difficulty with mobility at the time. So certainly quite an eventful day in court yesterday, giving details about Oscar Pistorius, his true state of mind, which we now know, according to that report, even though, Ayanda, certainly we don't have much of the details. It was very brief what came out in court yesterday. We're certainly hoping at some point we'll be able to get more details from that report or get a hard copy of that report to dissect exactly what this report says about Oscar Pistorius. But that cross-examination of Ivan Lynn, the acoustics engineer, expected this morning by State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel.
Thank you so much, Chriselda. And of course, you'll be our go-to girl for that information, and all those details will be crossing regularly to Chriselda throughout the course of the day on DSTV channel 404. Chriselda, my thanks again to you. We'll check in with her as well, same time tomorrow.